You know, it's funny because sometimes we talk about the role of a journalist is just to tell the truth and to inform people, and it's true, and that's what we do, and that's what we strive to do. But I think that when you work in Spanish, there is a difference because you have an audience that has additional needs. I wouldn't say different needs necessarily, because just like any human being, they need to be informed of what's going on in the world, in the country that they live in their community, in their countries of origin. But our community needed to understand a little bit more, you know, how to get by in this country where they felt, where so many felt disconnected, disenfranchised, and they wanted to be part of society.
Maria Elena Salinas is an American broadcast journalist, news anchor, and author. Called the voice of Hispanic America by the New York Times, Salinas is one of the most recognized Hispanic female journalists in the United States. Salinas began as a reporter, anchor, and public affairs host for KMEX TV, the Univision affiliate in Los Angeles, in 1981. She became the anchor of the national Spanish language news program Noticiero Univision in 1987. During her career, she has interviewed figures such as former U.S. Presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, Manuel Noriega, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega, and the Zapatista Army of National Liberation spokesman Subcomandante Marcos. She has also interviewed celebrities such as Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin, and Gloria Estefan. Salinas participated in the bilingual National Democratic presidential candidate debate on Hispanic issues in 2004, and again in 2007, co-hosting the first Democratic and Republican presidential candidate forums in Spanish on the Univision network. For 10 years, from 2001 to 2011, she wrote a weekly syndicated column in English and Spanish. In 2017 and 2018, she hosted 2 seasons of the English language crime program, The Real Story, with Maria Elena Salinas on Investigation Discovery. She was the co-anchor of Noticiero Univision, the primary evening news broadcast on Univision, and the co-host of the news magazine program Aquí y Ahora, Here and Now, and is also a contributor for ABC News. Salinas has been working for more than 3 decades in the U.S. and in 18 Latin American countries. She has won numerous awards and distinctions for both her journalism and philanthropic work. Salinas won a 2014 Peabody Award, Walter Cronkite Award, and Gracie Award for her news and documentary special, Entre el Abandono y el Rechazo, Between Abandonment and Rejection, a primetime report on the exodus of Central American children to the United States. Salinas is a founder of the National Association of Hispanic Journalists and was inducted into its Hall of Fame in 2006. She also sponsors the Maria Elena Salinas Scholarship for college students interested in Spanish news broadcasting. She also sits on the boards of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and the International Women's Media Foundation. We celebrate Maria Elena Salinas this Women's History Month.
This was in 1987, 88. Latin America was going through a lot of turmoil in the 80s and in the 90s, in the early 90s. And I think that that's where one of the biggest adjustments needed to be. I needed to be a lot more aware of the issues that affected Latin America. And you know, I started traveling to Central America, to South America. I started covering elections in Latin America, interviewing heads of states in Latin America. And this was a time where we still had dictatorships, where many, if not most, of the elections that I covered in Latin America were transitions from a military junta or a military dictatorship to a civilian government. So there were a lot of those types of issues that were important to embrace and to understand also the sensibilities of people that were living in this country, especially when it came to Central America. I think Central America was the most heated at the time with civil wars going on in Nicaragua, civil wars going on in also El Salvador. Guatemala also kind of ending their internal wars. So I think it was those types of issues that I needed to understand, to embrace, and then some of the domestic issues and agendas that each one of these communities had.